I'm Sarah Hewen, joined by Castile Resources Managing Director Mark Hepburn. Mark, can you please provide an overview of your company?
Well, Castile is, and I guess what sets Castile apart is the fact that we are a downstream processor and developing a downstream processing pathway for the ore from the Rover 1 mine. So we'll produce gold, copper, cobalt, and a 96.5% magnetite product from one mine, which does give us a great diversity in our revenue streams. But again, I would point out that the difference with us is we're not simply going to dig up ore and ship off to a smelter. We're going to produce the end user metals in country, in Australia, and in the Northern Territory.
It's really interesting. And you recently announced that the Rover 1 project had been granted major project status by the NT government. What does this status mean, and what's the significance of this for Castile's plans?
Major project status is a two-way agreement between Castile and the Northern Territory government. The Northern Territory government commits and looks for major contributors to their economic activity, and obviously it sees Castile's project as one of those. And we look to commit to get the project up into development as quickly as we can, and using the resources within Northern Territory and spending money and contributing heavily to their economy in what we're doing. I guess the most important thing is that we are now seen having that major project status. We are now seen as very viable to all of the benefits that go with the government now pushing towards getting this production of critical minerals in Australia and downstream processing up and running. It now basically opens the treasure chest of grants and loans that we've seen being committed to other companies in a similar status recently. It really does now open us up as a favourable project to get a lot of obviously state government help, but also federal government help through the loans and critical minerals grants that are being discussed at the moment.
With all the extra eyes on you now, what might investors be expecting news-wise over the next few months?
Well, I think it's important to know that we have drilled out Rover 1. We've got a fantastic project that goes for up to 9 years at around about 500,000 tonnes and produces about $230 to $240 million of revenue a year. But more importantly, the IRR is 46% just on our pre-feasibility numbers before we've had these large runs in the gold and copper prices just of the recent 2 or 3 months. So it's an extremely financially robust project that is easily manageable and highly profitable. I think sometimes people go, well, if it's there needs to be a certain size. Well, ours is certainly of size when it comes to how much profit it makes and how much revenue it makes. And again, it's a very manageable project. So I think what people can expect is us to be talking to people that are going to finance it, that is both government and private investors, and getting this project up and running. And I think that's really the pathway we're on now. I think major project status has proven that we are now a very viable project and very important to the Northern Territory. So hopefully we'll be starting to get, getting to that point now where we're ready to start developing the project in a more meaningful way. Madeleine King, who is the Minister for Resources and Minister for the North, has taken an interest in the project, and we put out some announcements about that. So we are now starting to get that proliferation of interest in the company, and people are saying that there is value in that diversity of both the metals and the metal streams and the revenues.
Great. Thanks for the chat, Mark.